welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Follow the Brand Podcast. This is your host, Grant McGaugh. And for the first time ever, I'm going to do a show out of Nashville, Tennessee, the Grand Ole Opry, right? The home of the Tennessee Titans. I haven't been there in a while, but I have been there. I had a great time when I did. But we're going to talk to an industry darling right now, Miss Rachel Sanders. She's doing some phenomenal things. She's growing a phenomenal audience on Instagram that is so impressive that has got my eyes just rolling in the back of my head like, wow, she is impressive with what she does because she's talking about subject or a subject that is so important today in health and wellness. And she's going to let us know what she's doing in that space and how she's making a real difference. So, Rachel, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. I'm Rachel. I'm CEO and founder of a company called Routine. We create smart supplements for your most vibrant health. Our core product right now is functional drink mixes for sleep, stress, and focus. But beyond being a CEO and a founder, I'm also a digital thought leader. I am an influencer in the health and wellness space. I've created an audience of 117,000 across Instagram, my newsletter, which is called Glow and Elevate, as well as other platforms. And I'm also a mom of two. So I do all of this while parenting two little ones, which is a lot of excitement and a lot of chaos all at the same time.
That's got to be a lot of fun, is what it sounds like to me, because you got to keep that energy level pretty high to keep you motivated. First, talk to us just a little bit about being an entrepreneur and being a mom, that home work balance. How do you do that?
Yeah, and trying to live my most healthiest, happiest, most productive life on top of it. I would say it's really hard, but it's also my inspiration for everything I do. So I believe that everybody should be able to have simple tips, tricks that fit into their daily life that really make a difference in how they feel, how they show up every day, whether they're a working parent or they're a stay-at-home parent. they have all of these tools and products at their disposal that can really help them feel their best. And I know what works and or I share my own journey because I've been there. I'm working, have a crazy job. I have two little kids. I'm trying all the different tools and products and brands out there. So I really like to bring up everything that's working for me, share my own journey, and hopefully some of those tips might work for you. But the other thing is it's all individualized, right? So what works for me might not work for you, but I'm all about trying to help you find those simple, easy ways to incorporate healthier living into your life every single day.
Well, I think you have done a phenomenal job doing all of those things, and you have grown your personal brand. Now, Follow the Brand is about personal branding, it's about business development, it's about people who are making things happen where other people kind of have these challenges. And I'm sure when you first got started, it was a challenge. You had to start with an audience of one. That was yourself. So let's talk about your why. Why did you begin this business and what are you hoping to gain out of it?
Yeah. Well, if we think about routine as a company, our products, and everything I share online, it all boils down to my own personal health struggles that I was dealing with as a 30-something millennial mom. After my second baby, I was desperately trying to feel and look like myself again. And despite doing all the wellness things, from the steps to the workouts to the proper nutrition, I was struggling. I was dealing with sleep issues. I was having trouble losing weight. I had excess belly fat, that mommy pooch that a lot of people have. I was extra moody and irritable, snapping at my kids and my partner more than I wanted to. And it was frustrating. I felt really annoyed. I was lost and it was really hard. Life was just hard. Like work was hard, relationships was hard, parenting was hard. And as I do, I dug into the science. And what I saw and science and research is that I was not alone. Millions of millennial and Gen X women, so women late 20s to early 50s are struggling right now. They're more stressed, they're more overwhelmed, they're more burnt out than ever before. And even CNN has a headline where it's like millennials are facing the first decline in well-being in almost a decade. And this is like a lot of frustrating daily symptoms are coming out of this that I was experiencing, the sleep issues, the stress, the brain fog and cognition issues. And I really wanted to figure out what was going on. And I tested my cortisol levels, realized cortisol, which is your stress hormone, was really at the base of a lot of my issues. And then started adding in changes across my lifestyle, my nutrition, my supplementation with our products at Routine, and realized that I could really make a huge impact, not just through Routine, which is a company we had, but also by sharing my story online. So I built this community of 117,000 in less than 9 months. So I started this after I started the company. But it was really in conjunction with this idea of wanting to make an impact, wanting to help people, and wanting to let others who I knew were similar to me know that they weren't alone and that there were like these simple options to really make a difference in your life. It's not the 2-hour protocols or the 20-something skincare routine that you're seeing on social. It's a real working mom who went through this herself.
You said it right. The authenticity rings true that you had a problem, you had a challenge, you looked out into the market, you didn't see exactly what could help you in your struggle and what you need to do. And look what you did, man. You just, you know what? I'm going to go into the lab. Let me go into the lab, create something, use my talents, my creativity, my understanding, and then bring something to the market that I know is going to help others. You had a very strong feeling behind this. Now, before you started that journey, were you always an entrepreneur? Were you working and then kind of became an entrepreneur? Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, I was in the most traditional industry that you could when I started my career. I was working in finance. I did investment banking for 4 years, focused on healthcare and healthcare technology. And through that, I'd always been someone who went to holistic health as a kind of solution, where I grew up, where my mom would take me to a naturopath or think about what supplements I was taking to heal me from my cold. And so it was really ingrained in me from an early age that what I did with my nutrition, my lifestyle, my supplementation really mattered when it comes to my health. And as I was working in banking, and seeing much more traditional healthcare, so I call it sick care, but diabetes management, acute care management, chronic conditions, businesses around that nature, there was this new wave of technology and data science that was really making a difference in patient outcomes in this space. And I kind of had this light bulb moment where I was thinking to myself that we should use all of this advancement that's helping so many people once they get sick, just help people get sick less or make it so that they don't get sick in the first place. And that's really where the jump to entrepreneurship came is I saw this opportunity, I saw this personal problem, and I saw that the opportunity to make an impact. And that's really what Routine does, where we bring a much more scientific, data-driven approach to holistic health, starting with supplementation.
In today's fast-paced financial landscape, access to capital is the key to success. At the heart of this revolution is Case Capital Markets, powered by Case. Here, innovation and investment converge, creating a dynamic environment where businesses can thrive and reach new heights. Introducing Grant McGaugh, the senior advisor at Case Capital Markets. Grant is a visionary leader, dedicated to connecting businesses with institutional capital and strategic funding. His expertise opens doors to game-changing investment opportunities, making him an invaluable partner for companies looking to scale and succeed in the competitive world of finance. With an impressive 25 years in technology, 9 years in healthcare, and 6 years in investment banking, Grant McGaugh has a proven track record. He has successfully closed over $500 million in high-value transactions, seamlessly bridging technology, healthcare, and infrastructure with innovative financial solutions. His experience is a testament to his ability to drive success. Case Capital Markets offers businesses direct access to over 32,000 venture capital firms, private equity funds, family offices, and institutional investors. This network empowers mid-market companies with under $100 million in revenue to scale beyond their limits, unlocking unprecedented growth potential. Debt, equity, growth capital, public offerings. These are the building blocks of the future of capital access. Whether you're scaling a business, seeking investment, or exploring market expansion, Grant McGaugh is your trusted partner. Together, you can unlock capital and create long-term financial success. The future belongs to those who take action. Are you ready to elevate your business? Welcome to Follow the Brand, where we turn leaders into legends. I'm Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM. Today, we're not just talking about executive presence, we're going to transform yours. Executive presence isn't about power, it's about trust. And here's the good news. You can build it at any level. Let's dive into how you can command any room you enter. Dr. Kimberly Long, CEO of California Nurse Leaders, shared a profound insight. The moment you try to prove your power is the moment you lose it. Executive presence is about building trust and authority without force. It's about creating an environment where people lean in to listen. You can achieve this by being authentic and consistent in your communication and actions. Consider Dr. Long during a hospital merger. She lowered her voice instead of raising it, and the room leaned in. Similarly, Sarah Chen, a project manager, used this technique in meetings. Within 3 months, her team began to emulate her style. Denzel Ross, now president of IU Health South Central, built his presence by identifying communication gaps and lifting others up. These examples show how presence spreads through subtle yet powerful actions. Your action step. In your next 3 meetings, try speaking 10% slower and 20% quieter. Watch what happens. For team leads, start delegating key responsibilities. Managers should use meetings as learning labs. Directors build cross-functional bridges. The key shift? Stop being the answer person. Start being the question person. This approach fosters growth and empowers others. Patrick Green, CEO of UF Health Jacksonville, uses a communication matrix to simplify complex ideas. His 3-step formula: start with impact, follow with insight, end with action. For example, instead of saying, "We need to upgrade our systems," he says, "We can save 50 lives this year by investing in this technology. Here's how." This clarity builds influence and trust. 3 common mistakes: reactivity, over-explaining, and imposter syndrome. When challenged, take a slow sip of water to respond thoughtfully. Instead of defending every detail, offer a headline first. Dr. Long still gets nervous before board meetings but prepares thoroughly. Remember, nervousness is energy. Executive presence isn't a destination, it's a practice. Start where you are, use what you have, and build from there.
When you deliver on your promise, and you have the result you were looking for, and everybody in the room is like, wow, this is what we're talking about. So routine itself is a supplement. It's something that you take. We know supplement is something in addition to.
Yep.
So are you doing this in addition to proper diet, proper exercise? Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so our core product line are functional drink mixes for sleep, stress, and focus. And so these are kind of like a hydration pack, but functional. So if you're really stressed, you take this, and most people are feeling calm or relaxation in 20 minutes, or you're having trouble sleeping. Our product's melatonin free to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up rested. And then focus is really for that cognitive boost. So if you're dealing with an afternoon slump, which a lot of people who have cortisol imbalance deal with, and or just working people in general, it helps your brain work better. You get through your to-do list faster. And all of these are multi-adaptogen powders. So adaptogens are natural herbal supplements that help bring your body back to balance and create these effects naturally, quite quickly. And this is all done in conjunction, of course, with a proper sleep routine, a routine around how do you balance your cortisol levels, a routine around cognition and brain health. But these products just kind of support you and help you get to where you want to go faster.
This is so important. Getting that energy, getting the right type of energy, getting the balance that you need to meet the challenges of the day. And most people have a daily challenge one way or another. And you've got to have ways, and you can't afford to be sick. Who can afford to be
No one.
sick this day? You're down. Sometimes that means you're not generating income, and that could have definitely a detrimental effect on you. So let's talk about finance just a little bit, because you developed the product, you got that together. And a lot of people have done, developed product, they developed something, but they struggle in the marketing arena, and they can't really, I can't grow an audience. What were you doing? What did you do you feel was your niche, your specialty to grow such a huge following in such a short period of time?
I think there's a couple of things. So for people who are starting out, maybe they have a couple thousand followers and they're trying to figure this out. The 3 core recommendations that I would do that I may or may not have done well at the beginning, but is one, this commitment to consistency, where at the start I had basically 0 audience, and I committed to myself that I was going to show up online every single weekday, so 5 days a week for 6 months. And then at 6 months, I would say, all right, is this working or is this not? It's not something where I was going to try it for a week and see if it worked, or even a month, or even 2 months. That's just not enough time to figure out the content, how it all works, the algorithm, like what's going to make sense for you, and then doubling down on that. So that's the first tip, is just commit to yourself to be consistent. The second tip is figuring out the processes that allow you to be consistent. So one of the mistakes that I made early on is because I was already I was showing up on like X and LinkedIn, but I wasn't on Instagram or TikTok really. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do 4. I'm going to do 4 channels. This is someone who really wasn't doing much in terms of video at all. And after a week, I was like, I can't do this. I was spending my entire day trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be posting it, filming it, finding all the audios and doing all the things. And as I say in marketing, it's the same thing in building personal brand, is you have to really focus your resources, do that like hero product concept first, which in this case is your hero platform. What is the platform that matters the most to you and where you can grow your audience first? Because once you grow your audience there, you can always expand into new platforms. But if you can't be consistent to grow your audience in one place, it's going to be really hard to grow it in 4. And then the third thing that I did is I knew that my niche was going to be in and around health and wellness at the intersection of my own experiences, my story, and kind of this inspirational, like, hey, you can do this too. But I didn't know exactly what the topics within health and wellness were gonna hit. And so I spent my first month creating content across different topics and different types of content, like carousels, videos, talking, B-roll, just like figure out all the things you see on Instagram. I chose Instagram. I went and tried to create it all. I did green screen, just figure it out, right? And then I quickly figured out what content would take me less time, what was more enjoyable for me to create, the content I could create and still run a business at the same time, because I'm not a full-time content creator, so I can't spend 3 hours on one piece of content type of thing. And then I doubled down on that type of content, still tested topics. And then by month 3, I started seeing some traction specifically around mental wellness, around cortisol levels, and this overarching concept that I was dealing with. And then I just continued to talk about that. And I shared my story. I've been vulnerable about it. I shared tips and tricks. I offer value and do all of those other things, and then grew quite quickly after kind of figuring out that topic category.
Being vulnerable, I've learned that from a lot of different successful people when it comes down to social selling or social marketing, is that it's not about being perfect. It's about being authentically to tell your story and sharing some things that you normally wouldn't share that are pretty personal, but they're important because people are experiencing these things. And you're like, you know what? No one's really talking about this. It's kind of a gap in the marketing arena, that if I fill that gap, I can gain significant market share in a short period of time, because people like talking to people. People don't understand the power of the word of mouth. It's not like she just all of a sudden just threw out a bunch of stuff and then people just started, tuning in. It's all of a sudden their friends started talking about it. Then their friends and friends started talking about it. And all of a sudden it's growing organically, but it's growing authentically. And then before you know it, you've got 6 figures of people, tuning in. Now that creates its own problem. All of a sudden now you've got this great following and there's a demand for your product. You're scaling. How do you keep up with that growing demand?
Yeah, I mean, every time you're successful, there's another challenge that comes, but those are champagne problems, as I like to call it. But we, as a business, we're set up for scale. We always have been. And so that hasn't been as big of a challenge for us yet. But of course, there's always challenges that come as we continue to scale. From a content perspective, one of the challenges that I personally face is, all right, this is working, so how do we double down on it? So for me, that means, okay, how am I growing TikTok now? Because I ignored TikTok for forever, but it's definitely a place where I should be showing up. It's a place where maybe it's a new audience, but it's a similar message. So how do I grow TikTok from 0 to 100K in a quick fashion? And so it becomes, all right, I figured this out a little bit. So like, let's continue to double down on that, but what else? And that's kind of the plight of anyone that's ambitious. It's building a business, building a personal brand, et cetera, is when you get comfortable, it's then that you try to take on that next challenge, and then it becomes uncomfortable all over again.
In today's world, where every voice competes for attention, true influence stands out. One visionary has redefined the landscape of brand building. His name is Grant McGaugh, and his innovative approach is setting new standards in the industry. Recognized among the top 30 global gurus in branding for 2025, Grant McGaugh is a name synonymous with transformative brand leadership. His work is not just about creating brands, it's about crafting legacies. Through his visionary strategies, he is helping leaders across the globe redefine their impact and influence. At the heart of Grant's success is the revolutionary BRAVE framework. BRAVE stands for branding, resilience, authenticity, vision, and excellence. Each element is meticulously crafted to guide leaders in building brands that are not only successful, but also meaningful. Branding sets the foundation, resilience ensures longevity, authenticity builds trust, vision drives innovation, and excellence guarantees quality. This framework is where data meets storytelling and strategy meets authenticity. From healthcare to technology, Grant's methodology is reshaping how industries approach branding. His strategies are not confined to a single sector. They are universal, adaptable, and effective. By integrating the BRAVE framework, organizations are experiencing a transformation in how they connect with their audiences, ensuring their message resonates and endures. Grant McGaugh's influence extends beyond frameworks. Through his best-selling books and the acclaimed Follow the Brand podcast, he shares insights and strategies that empower leaders to elevate their brand presence. These resources are a testament to his commitment to shaping the future of branding. Grant McGaugh is not just influencing the present, he is shaping the future of brand influence. His work is a beacon for those seeking to lead with purpose and impact. By embracing his methodologies, leaders are equipped to navigate the complexities of modern branding with confidence and clarity. Discover the BRAVE approach to brand leadership and unlock the potential of your brand. At 5-Star BDM, where vision meets results, Grant McGaugh invites you to embark on a journey of transformation. Experience the power of strategic branding and redefine your impact in the world. We're not interested in another vendor pitch. That moment was pivotal for Grant McGaugh. He was ready to present the perfect solution. But the CIO wasn't buying technology, he was buying confidence in the future of patient care. This realization marked a turning point in Grant's approach to healthcare technology. Instead of pushing his product, Grant asked a simple yet profound question. Tell me about your biggest challenge in improving patient care through technology. For the next hour, the conversation shifted from software and specs to fear, risk, and trust. That day, Grant stopped selling and started solving, focusing on understanding the real needs of healthcare leaders. Grant once believed success was about closing deals. But what happened after the deal was closed? Following up on a major contract, he was stunned to hear, "Honestly, Grant, we haven't even fully implemented it." Adoption is a mess. He realized that healthcare leaders weren't buying products, they were buying confidence in outcomes. This insight reshaped his strategy. How does one transition from vendor to strategic advisor? Grant outlines 3 key steps. First, listen before presenting. Lead with questions like, "What's your biggest challenge?" or "Where is technology holding you back?" Second, build bridges, not just sales funnels. Connect CIOs with peers who have solved similar problems and facilitate collaboration between clinicians and IT teams. Third, share insights, not just information. Focus on shaping industry conversations by telling transformation stories and sharing lessons from both failures and successes. This approach builds trust and positions you as a leader in healthcare technology. When Grant stopped pushing solutions and started driving conversations, his career transformed. He secured over $10 million in digital transformation deals without selling. He was invited into strategic boardrooms, not just sales calls. His podcast, Follow the Brand, became a platform for real healthcare leadership. Grant wasn't just part of the industry conversation, he was leading it. Healthcare technology is evolving rapidly. Leaders need more than vendors. They need trusted advisors. If you're ready to stop pitching and start solving, connect with Grant. Be a guest on his podcast, connect on LinkedIn, or explore 5-Star BDM. The future of healthcare tech belongs to those who bridge the gap between technology and leadership. Will you be one of them?
so important. And I like how you stated hero platform. And that's what a personal brand is. I like, you have to be the face of the brand. It's got to speak for the business because people don't really buy into what people say about a product or service, but they do buy into the individual.
Mhm.
And then if that individual is believable, they can be trusted and they have knowledge and they're sharing, especially in your case, some vulnerable information. I'm not sure what cortisol is or what it does, but it sounds like it's interesting. Give the audience a little bit more context about what that is, because they're like, you know what? I might need that.
So cortisol it's most commonly referred to as your stress hormone, and it is a major hormone in the body. It affects a lot of different processes. And if your cortisol is imbalanced, so it can be both hot, too high and too low. Most people it's too high, but that can create everything from brain fog issues to extra moodiness and irritability, more easily overstimulated, extra belly fat, trouble losing weight, adult acne, chronic fatigue, kind of waking up and feeling exhausted despite sleeping, sleep issues, so racing thoughts, trying to fall asleep, or waking up at 2 a.m. and not being able to go back to sleep. It can really impact literally your whole life if it's out of whack. And most people, especially as they're entering more of their midlife, have cortisol imbalance because we're constantly being thrown, like stressful situations are constantly being thrown at us. From work, from the news cycle, from social media, where we know creators are creating content that's more divisive because they know that gets more views. And so that creates these gives you stress. And then even the food we eat, to the lights that we're under, being under artificial light is a physical stressor. Eating a lot of sugary, high processed foods creates a physical stressor in the body because there's basically the more blood sugar imbalance you have, the more it impacts your cortisol levels or your stress hormone levels. And so all of these things, modern world life things, are creating stress and putting our bodies in this chronic fight or flight mode. It's supposed to have, cortisol is supposed to be there, fight or flight is supposed to be there from when, if you run into a tiger or you need to lift up a car. But just sitting here every single day, your body shouldn't be in that state. And if it is, it creates all sorts of problems.
Sort of like adrenaline, right? It's there. People don't realize that in certain situations you could pick up a car. You're like, wow, how did that happen?
Mhm.
You summon that energy. But like I said, it's for a short period of time. But if you've got this going on for a longer period of time, I can see that problematic. Now you found your solution, you're marketing that solution. Here's the thing. People have there's this perception uh around millennials, like they're different from others, right? Like you're one of those, So so that's wild when I think about it. Now I'm a little older. I have children that are in the 20 to 30, almost 40 area. I think that's the millennial segment. Why do you think that segment? Now, do you think because they see in you, they see themselves in you, and is your audience predominantly uh, on TikTok, Instagram, and that's what's gravitating to you, or is it different?
So the audience that I really speak to, I would say I think it's 85% of my audience is over 30, and that's from 30s even through to 65 plus, which is the oldest age group that Instagram gives you. And it's really as life comes at you, as you live more life, your symptoms start. You enter into your late 20s, early 30s, and you don't feel like you did in your early 20s anymore. You can't drink the alcohol that you did. You can't sleep for 4 hours and be as productive as you used to. And so people are searching for solutions. And then in terms of our customer specifically, and the people that I speak to, they're mostly on Instagram. So when I picked the platform that I was going to go on, Instagram or TikTok, all of our customers are on Instagram. Some of them are on TikTok. And so it was easy to choose Instagram first and then grow into TikTok. There's other situations where your entire audience is going to be on TikTok and then only some of them are on Instagram. That's mostly if you're targeting the younger kind of 20s and below generation.
This is interesting because it sounds like you have a very good handle on technology, not only from a marketing or we call it MarTech, but also from a health tech perspective. How did you get into the technology realm and seem like you're pretty adept at it?
A lot of what we do, so routine, we originally were much more of a personalized nutrition, even further, and we've actually developed a lot of technology in and around the category, everything from blood testing to personalized supplementation, which we also have as well still. But just through my own personal experience, I've tested, tried, done like all the health tech things. All the new things I see, I'm someone who sees it first, tries it first, and just like learns about it.
This is interesting. I'm going further now because one of the biggest stumbling blocks that I've seen in my audience have seen is that as they scale, they go into business, they're entrepreneurial, they're doing all these things, and then all of a sudden there's this other thing that comes to mind, and that's money and understanding finance and understanding what to invest in and what not to invest in and how to uh, work through those gaps in cash flow and things like that. Has that been an on the job learning for you, or did you come in with a pretty good, depth and breadth of financial acumen?
Starting my entrepreneurial journey, I was probably more adept from a finance perspective because I worked for 4 years in investment banking, which means I spent most of my days, 12, 15-hour days in and around financial statements. But that doesn't mean that there wasn't a lot of on-the-job learning around cash flow management and making those really critical decisions around what are you investing in now versus what are you waiting. And I think that is something that you just can't know until you've been in a leadership position at a startup and or a business where you're bootstrapping and you're cash strapped and you have to make these really critical decisions around resource um, around resources and you're in a cash constrained situation.
These are so important. So we now understand that you understand finance. You have a great understanding of marketing. You have a great product. You've solved a problem that you personally were experiencing with routine. I want you to talk to our audience now. I want you to talk to that person that what you just described, some of the conditions of cortisol. And I like how you framed the story. Like at one point in time, you could do these things. You could run around the block, 15 times, on 4 hours of sleep and drinking. And let's just say, but now that's changed. You're going through a life change. There is a life change that does happen. And, a lot of people understand like the growth spurt, when you're a teenager and you're becoming an adult. But there's another challenge that happens 20s to your 30s, probably in your 30s to your mid 30s, where it starts to really, there's some things going on, but I don't think there's a lot of good information around it. But I think you've discovered that. But I want you to talk to that person that's now just starting to say, hey, something's different.
Yeah, I mean, I always recommend that if something's different, if you're experiencing any one of the symptoms I talked about, trying to understand your cortisol levels is a great place to start. It's one of the major hormones. So if you're a female dealing with like sex hormone issues like the estrogen and progesterone, or you're a male dealing with similar hormone issues, a lot of those can actually stem to a deeper root, which is in cortisol and or insulin and blood sugar. So looking at your cortisol levels, so what does your stress look like, and looking at your blood sugar, what does your metabolic health look like, are the two places that I would start. The cortisol testing is a great way to do that. We do have an at-home cortisol test that you can do, but there's other opportunities for that. If that's not something that's either accessible, whether it's not something you want to do or financially it's not accessible, I would also just like look at the symptoms, because trying to figure out natural stress management techniques is not going to hurt you. So start to learn, all right, what are some of these simple things that I can do to start my day? For example, I drink 40 ounces of water with electrolytes before I have my coffee, because when you wake up, your body's the most dehydrated it is. That's a physical stressor. So that's an easy 5 minute just add that to my day solution. And there's a lot of things across nutrition or how you're working out, et cetera, that you can start to implement. And then the other thing is this concept of metabolic health, which basically just means figuring out if your blood sugar is stable, if you're metabolically healthy, or if you're trending towards pre-diabetic, which can cause all sorts of other issues. The best way, in my opinion, to understand the blood sugar is a continuous glucose monitor, or a CGM. There's a bunch of companies out there where you can just order them and they'll ship them direct to your house. Wear them for a couple weeks and you can understand how food is affecting your body and if that's kind of an underlying cause of some of these symptoms that you're dealing with. Another thing is sleep, but glucose and cortisol impact sleep. So if those are problematic, you could be having trouble sleeping. If you don't have either of those and you're having trouble sleeping, fixing sleep can fix a lot too.
Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, is turning heads in the healthcare and information technology sectors with his groundbreaking approach to personal branding and business development. By challenging conventional strategies, he's setting a new standard for how executives present themselves and their businesses to the world. McGaugh's expertise isn't just about standing out. It's about strategic guidance, generating leads, and building networks that propel executives beyond their competition. His focus on authenticity allows leaders to leverage their unique stories, driving exponential growth and success in their industries. Beyond branding, McGaugh is a fervent advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. He's committed to helping organizations cultivate environments where innovation and collaboration thrive through inclusive cultures. And for those eager to dive deeper, McGaugh hosts the Follow the Brand podcast. Here, he unpacks the intricacies of personal branding and business growth, offering valuable insights for professionals eager to redefine their identities and share their narratives with the world.
Exciting time to be in digital marketing with the advent, the explosion of generative AI chatbots. They're better known as ChatGPT. There's Bard, there's Claude, there's all kinds of this new one came out called Gemini. There's so many different tools that really what it comes down to is that it's made my business more precise. I can do things more quicker, I would say, and to elevate my brand messaging to a level that allows me to be as creative as possible. Digital market economy is taking the world by storm, probably over the last decade or so, but is really escalating now in the advent of AI because it is a game changer for a lot of businesses. It's not just all the big boys that can play in this space because of cloud computing, because of mobile computing, and now you have these tools at your disposal. You've got a laptop, you've got a computer, you can now digitize yourself to a level and get your message out there, and that equates to business.
Your story is powerful. Your brand is valuable. Your business deserves to be seen, heard, and followed. The Black Business Olympics has given you the stage, showcasing Black entrepreneurs speaking on stage, networking, and leading their businesses. Now, let's take your business even further. With the Black Business Olympics logo and clips of past events and inspiring speakers, we celebrate the power of visibility and the impact of your unique story. Introducing 5-Star BDM's exclusive video creation services designed to transform your Black Business Olympics appearance into a powerful marketing tool. Our dynamic approach includes behind-the-scenes shots of video editing, branding consultations, and social media marketing. We take your business story and turn it into a high-impact video that attracts clients, builds trust, and opens doors to new business opportunities. With polished content, testimonials, and high-energy graphics, your brand will shine brighter than ever. Our process is simple and effective. Step 1. We extract the best moments from your Black Business Olympics speech. Step 2. We craft a compelling branded video with your business details, call to action, and testimonials. Step 3. You receive ready-to-share professional content for social media, websites, and email marketing. With our AI-enhanced video marketing strategies, your message reaches the right audience at the right time, so your business grows while you lead. Hear from successful entrepreneurs who have worked with 5-Star BDM. After working with 5-Star BDM, my brand awareness skyrocketed. My Black Business Olympics talk became my #1 lead generator. The video they created gave me the confidence to pitch my business to major investors. Game-changing service. These testimonials showcase the transformative power of our services and the success that follows. Your business is your legacy. Your story matters. Let's make it unforgettable. Use your videos to land deals, grow your online presence, and dominate your industry. The message is clear. Get your custom video today. Visit 5starbdm.com. 5-Star BDM. We build 5-star brands that people will follow. Are you ready to be next? Email Black Business Network for your special pricing.
Good sleep. That sounds like a winner for me for certain. Now let's continue on this customer journey, the customer experience. Someone who's now tuning into this podcast, they're listening to you, and they're like, okay, I see that. There may be something there. What is the next step? How do they to acquire the product? Do they get a sample first? Talk to them about what they should do next.
Yeah, so if you want to get access to our products or try them, you can find us on Amazon Prime 2-day shipping. There are 10 packs there that are fairly affordable, and then we also do offer sample packs on our site, so you can get a free sample with purchase right now, and our site is rootine.co, and we'll do various specials around samples as well. And of course, you can purchase them online, and then we're also coming soon to more retailers as we continue to roll out the retail channel.
Now, it sounds like there's a variety there. You said 10 packs, so there's packs for different symptoms. Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so there's a stress, a sleep, or a focus, and we have them in 2 different sizes. So you can get each of those in either a 10 pack or a 24 pack, depending on the size that you want to purchase.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. And before I let you go, because you're on the Follow Brand show, and I want people to understand how you felt about this experience of being, interviewed by me, getting an understanding of what this was about, and being on the platform, being able to tell your story. Just tell us a little bit about that.
I love the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing, and it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I love it. I love it. I don't always get to talk to guests like you. I talk to a lot of great guests, but everybody is unique in what they do and how they do it and what motivates them. I'm intrigued by your story because you can either sit in certain situations and blame some external circumstance instead of like, what can I do to solve this problem? And use some critical thinking and use some tools at your disposal to begin to come up with solutions instead of more problems or excuses. That's what I like about your brand. Your brand to me speaks volumes. I think you've spoken volumes during this show. I cannot wait for the audience to really interact with everything we just talked about and get them a chance to try your product. So before I let you go, tell them again how to get a hold of Routine.
You can check out our website at routine, routine.co. You can find us on social at routine_co. And of course, you can find us on Amazon. And then to learn more about me, I'm on Instagram at Rachel SOP Sanders. And you can find my website, way to sign up for my newsletter, and all the things that I'm doing directly through my link in my bio and my Instagram.
Wow. And that is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I invite your entire audience to check out all the different episodes on Follow Brand. We've got close to 200 of them. This is a knowledge share. This is a library of information for everybody to get better at what they do. There's many, many, many different segments. I would say I put them in the season. So there's executive presence, there's personal branding, there's brand mastery, there's career and business development, there's technology information and financial empowerment. So you can start to get a better understanding, not just from me, but from the people who have lived it, just like Rachel is living her experience. This has been wonderful. Thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love Grant.
I love the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing, and it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I feel great that we're having this conversation here. Met a new person in business who I previously didn't know.
It was an amazing podcast. Grant is an amazing interviewer. I learned a lot.
I really enjoyed this. Great questions, great talk track. Super appreciate you having me on. It's been a very fun episode to talk about a lot of things that I don't always get to dive into. So this has been a fantastic conversation.
I wouldn't be where I am here today, of course, not on this stage. However, not in my current business projection and my current business model without working with you.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BDXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
Okay, so picture this. You've got this amazing cardiologist, right?
Yeah.
Super skilled, but nobody really knows about him.
Yeah.
They're doing all this incredible work with preventative care, but they just haven't gotten the word out.
Happens all the time.
I know, right? So then imagine that same cardiologist
Okay.
makes this awesome personal brand video. It's got patient success stories, their unique approach to care.
Okay.
And suddenly, boom, they're not just another doctor in a sea of white coats.
Right. They stand out.
Exactly. They become the expert, the one everyone's looking for. And that's the power we're diving into today.
I like it.
We're going to unpack how to make that happen. And to help us out, we've got Grant McGaugh's insights.
McGaugh. He's the real deal.
Oh, absolutely. He's totally nailed this whole video thing for building your personal brand.
Especially on LinkedIn and YouTube, I see his stuff everywhere.
Right. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So think about it. You spent years honing your craft, becoming an expert.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Totally.
Yeah.
And today, we're going to break down how to translate all that into a video that screams you.
So people actually get it. What makes them different?
Yes. It's about making you the recognized authority in your field, whatever that field may be.
Makes sense. Because you can be the best in the world at something.
Right.
But if nobody knows it, what's the point?
Exactly. So it all starts with figuring out what McGaugh calls your unique value proposition.
Love that term, unique value proposition.
Right. It's like, let's say you have two physical therapists, both amazing, both super qualified.
Okay, I'm following.
But one focuses on geriatric care, the other's all about sports injuries. See the difference?
Totally. Different patients, different needs.
Exactly. And their videos need to reflect that. So the big question is,
what's your superpower? What problem do you solve better than anyone else?
Bingo. Because it's not enough to just list your credentials.
Nobody wants to hear another boring resume rundown.
I know. And that's where McGaugh's take on different video lengths comes in.
Okay. Short versus long form.
You got it. He says both are essential.
They each have their place.
Right? Like a short, punchy video on Instagram, that's your hook. Gets people interested.
Grabs their attention.
Exactly. Then you lead them to your website or maybe a longer YouTube video.
Or you can really dive deep, show off that expertise.
Perfect. So let's go back to our cardiologist. They know their niche preventative care. Now,
They gotta write that script.
Yeah. How do they translate their passion into something that hooks viewers right from the start?
Here's an idea. Let's say our cardiologist had this patient who totally reversed their pre-diabetic condition.
Wow.
Just through lifestyle changes. Amazing, right? So open the video with that.
Okay.
Show the patient happy, healthy hiking with their family. Bam. Emotional connection right away.
I can see it now.
Then bring in the doctor, talking about their approach.
Powerful.
And weave in visuals, healthy meals, exercise routines, make it dynamic.
See, I never would have thought to start a video that way.
Genius. And you know what else people always stress about fancy cameras and equipment?
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, good audio is king. Absolutely. If people can't hear you clearly, they're gone. No matter how pretty the picture is.
So a good mic is more important than a fancy camera.
100%. A decent smartphone and a lavalier mic, you're golden.
That's good to know. So audio's covered, stories nailed. What about the visuals themselves?
Okay, so we're talking preventative cardiology, right?
Yep.
Think about it. Anatomical diagrams, stats on heart disease prevention.
Okay. Starting to get the picture.
You could even overlay text during a patient testimonial, highlight key takeaways.
Oh, I like that.
Or use animation to explain a complex procedure. Keep it engaging.
That's so smart.
And here's another McGaugh essential: captions and graphics.
He talks about those a lot.
For good reason. They make your content accessible to everyone.
Including people with hearing impairments.
Exactly. But it's also about engagement.
Okay, how's that?
Think about someone scrolling through their feed on mute.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
A strong graphic or a well-timed caption. That's what makes them stop and watch.
It's like those recipe videos. They show you every step, even if you can't hear.
Exactly. Visual storytelling.
Love it. So we've got this amazing video now.
Don't let it gather dust.
Right.
No.
McGaugh's all about repurposing content.
Take that longer YouTube video, slice it up into little nuggets.
Bite-sized pieces.
Perfect for Instagram, Twitter. Little teasers. A patient story. A quick cholesterol tip.
Get people interested.
And lead them back to the full video.
Makes sense. So we've covered the story, the platforms, but how do we know if it's actually working?
Gotta track those metrics.
Okay. Beyond just view counts.
Yeah. Are people commenting, sharing, dig into the analytics?
See what's resonating?
Are they finding your video through search, or are they coming from social media shares?
That tells you what's working.
And what needs tweaking.
So it's not a one and done thing.
It's a process.
This has been so insightful. So to sum it all up.
It's not about vanity.
Right. It's about showcasing your expertise, building trust.
Becoming that go-to expert.
The leader in your field.
Think about something you're really proud of in your work. How can you bring that to life visually in a way that really connects with people.
That's the challenge.
And the opportunity.
Awesome stuff. Food for thought, for sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks for breaking it all down.
My pleasure.
Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.